Jai Bhim, Jai Mulnivasi, Jai Savidhan, Jai Bharat. Today is Sunday, and also today is very auspicious day, as today is 14th of April. 14th of April is remembered for the birth anniversary of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, the Indian constitution maker. And he is the only personality which we can say whose birth anniversaries are celebrated worldwide. Throughout the countries, all countries are celebrating 14th April as a birth anniversary of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, and he is remembered by one and all. And today, it is a great pleasure that many countries are celebrating this particular day as Equality Day. And as far as India is considered, India is a democratic country, and in a democratic country, the constitution maker roles plays a vital role. So today also we are going to play a very important topic as far as the democracy of India is considered, and the Parliament is one of the main constituent as far as the democracy is considered, and representation of the people, and specifically the 85% Mulnivasis, scheduled caste, scheduled tribe, other backward classes, and minorities. So, how their representation matters for a successful democracy is the topic that we are going to discuss today. And today we had with us Mulnivasi Sanjay Ingole sir, who is National General Secretary of BAMCEF, and he is going to guide us on this particular topic. So, let me welcome Mulnivasi Sanjay Ingole sir to the studio. Jai Bhim, Jai Mulnivasi, Jai Savidhan sir.
जय भीम, जय मुनिवासी, जय भारत, जय संविधान.
Yes, sir. Sir, first of all, very happy birth anniversary of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. Today is a very special auspicious day to you
For
and
you
your
also
family.
and for all our audience.
Yes, thank you very much, sir. Sir, specifically, we would like to hear from you as far as the current scenario in India is going on. It is the election period, and India is a democratic country. And in a democratic country, specifically the representation of people, how important do you feel the representation of people matters in a democracy? Would like to start with that. Please elaborate on this particular issue, sir.
Thank you very much. The very essence and the soul of democracy is people's participation in decision making, and when it is a large society, it is through representation. So people participate in decision making through the process of representation. They delegate and they communicate their aspirations and their needs to their representatives. So the process of participating in decision making ensures the involvement of all citizens and their commitment to all decisions that are being taken, and therefore it is very important. Just a minute, mute this. So to understand the strength of the system, the strength of the democratic system lies in the commitment of all the citizens, all the members of a constituent society to the cause they are committed. So if in a country all members they share a common goal and they commit themselves to achieve that goal, then the country may have little resources, but their commitment makes them strong. Their commitment helps them to achieve their dreams within the given resources. So participation of people in defining their tasks and objectives and their commitment to achieve it is very vital. And secondly, everybody cannot participate in the process of decision making. Therefore, in democratic system, there is a system of delegation of the power and authority to the representatives for participating in the discussion and then communicating the discussion to those to whom they represent, and taking their taking their assent in a sense, or carrying them along with them, so that they both of them they remain on same page in decision making and their implementation. So that makes them one nation, strong population, a strong group, a strong society. And definitely everybody cannot think alike. Therefore decisions cannot be, even I delegate somebody as my representative, so what he decides on my behalf may not be agreeable to me in certain situation. But once I delegate the responsibility to decide on my behalf, no, then whatever that person decides for me is to be accepted by me, is to be supported by me. That is the principle on which this functions. Secondly, there is a scope. If the decision goes wrong, there is a scope to amend the decision within a due course of time. That is 5 years in a political democracy like India. So in a due course of time, if wrong decision is taken or appropriate decision is not taken, that can be amended, and that is the surety that the interest of the common is protected in this system, as compared to the dictatorship, where decisions are taken by the third person and decisions are implemented by the third person, and no scope for amendment, no scope for listening to the concerns of the masses. So here the great advantage of democracy is that, first of all, those who represent, before going to represent, they amalgamate their thought along with the people to whom they represent. People give them the power to represent when their thought match together. The thought of the representative and the thought of the mass matches. Therefore, the mass give them authority. But suppose after getting elected, the representative goes on the other thought, do not adhere to the thought which he agreed in his manifesto, then there is a scope for the citizen to withdraw his support in the coming future. Or even there is a system that some of the representative together can bring a no confidence motion in the house and bring down those who have deceived the people on the mandate that they had asked for. So they have to adhere to their manifestos. It is not the whims and fancies of the political parties and the representatives who sit there in the parliament and make whatever they want. That is not possible in a democratic system to a large extent if we use the system properly.
Right, sir.
Now, the second point is, this is the strength of democracy, that you can delegate and you can withdraw your delegation and you can amend your will and your wishes and your requirements through the process of democratic participation in the governance. Now, the concept of representation is of twofold: representation uh, on behalf of somebody and self-representation. So, Baba Saheb Ambedkar, in his last speech, while dedicating the constitution to the people of India, had said that having government of the people, for the people, is not just required, but it is not just the for the people, but it should be of the people and by the people. That is more important. Nowadays we are having we are listening to, every day we are listening in Indian mass media, national media, that advertise are being flashed on every occasion to communicate the masses that Modi hai to guarantee hai. When Modi is there, there is a guarantee. and it means they have adopted the principle that they will work for the people, no, but not not by the people. It will not be doing by the people. It will be for the people, done by somebody else. So they have decided, the Brahminical forces in India, they have created organizations whereby they promise the masses that they will do their welfare, they will protect their interest, and therefore masses should support them. And they are the only entity, they are only force and organization, political organization, that can protect the interest of the common mass, and that can work for the common mass. And there is another proposition in Indian politics, that either Congress or BJP is the organization that will work for the interest of the masses, and masses need not to worry about their representation, and the running of the affairs of the governance, need not to participate in the affairs of the governance. Now, this is very contradictory proposition as far as democracy is concerned, because democracy is not just for the people. It has to be by the people also. And by the people means the representation in the house of the people should be the people by themselves, because society is not a homogeneous mass. All societies, they have heterogeneity in their populations are stratified. So the Indian population is more so diverse and stratified. Therefore, representation from each strata of the society, directly from that particular strata, has to be there. If Modi promises that if he is there, then he guarantees the development, that he can say this for the group to which he represents. He belongs to Modi group, Modi caste. So that is a Baniya caste, trader caste in India, which is part of the Aryan Brahmin society. That is the third rank. He belongs to the third rank in Aryan society. That is not the Indian society. So he can promise for his lot. Even he can promise for his masters, that is the Brahmins and the Kshatriyas, for whom he is loyal. But he cannot promise on behalf of the indigenous masses of India. They have to represent themselves in the house of the people. And if they want to actually undertake the work of reformation and development of the original inhabitants of India, then they must garner their majority in the house. And this is very practical, because if in the people's house somebody want to pass a law or pass a bill or a budget, then the proponent of that budget or the law must possess a majority. So just tokenism will not work. But the Brahminical forces in India, through Congress or BJP or communist or the so-called socialists, in the name of socialists, they are Brahmin. So Brahminical forces, they are showing the carrot and the lollipop of tokenism to the backward classes, that we represent you, we will represent you. Why you should represent us? You represent yourself and we will represent ourselves. That has to be thought of the backward classes now, because that importance is not being understood by the common mass in India. And that is the reason why we are lagging behind, why the development is not reaching to the every citizen of this country, why the vast majority of the so-called backward classes, that is the indigenous mass of this country, is only the backward force in this country, is only the backward society in this country. And other society, they are progressing and they are reaping the benefit of everything that is being paid from the public taxes, and that is being paid from the sweat and blood of the labor class in India. Therefore, they must understand that self-representation is the key to make the democracy successful in the country like India, where mass is very diverse and outsiders have come and grounded their roots here, and they are ruling this country, and they are controlling each and every system of the country. So they need to be thrown away from the position of the power, and the deprived, the marginalized, and the backward must take the charge of the state in their hand through using the power of parliamentary democracy, the power of vote, and getting represented, fully represented, to the extent of being majority in the house, so that they can resolve all things which are in their interest and as enshrined in the Constitution of India. This is very important aspect, and people must understand this, and such kind of a awakenings and conscientization is needed, and that is the need of the hour. Without that, we actually will not be able to make use of the power that has been given to the citizen of this nation to decide its future, to decide its fate. Therefore, sir, very vital topic you have brought for discussion, and I am actually feel very sensitive on this issue and very agitated, because nowadays we think that the voter is not taking the job of voting seriously. That is a grave problem, and through a media like MNT News Network and other national media, they should actually take care of this, so that the common man understands the importance of being self-represented and not just by represented by the other to protect their interest and to carry on the agenda of progress and development. Thank you.
Right, sir. Sir, as far as the basic parameters of successful democracy are considered, with respect to the people of India or citizens of India, how you see this one? And for the last 75 years, how you can compare the principles laid in the Constitution and its implementation versus the democracy system that is developed with India?
Yeah. See, the first principle of successful democracy is people's participation in decision making, that I said at the beginning. The second principle of successful democracy is taking care of the deprived and the marginalized section, taking care of the minority of the nation. The second principle, because the democracy must protect the minority. In global context, in European context, I think this is better understood when I say it is minority. In our context, in Indian context, it is backward and the indigenous mass, the Mulnivasis of India. No, their interest is vital, although they are more in number here. So that number will otherwise speak differently if I say Mulnivasi Bahujan, because if they are Bahujan, if they are majority, it is obvious that their interest might have been protected, but the situation is contrary. Here, the Mulnivasis are in majority, indigenous masses are in majority, but their interests are not protected because they are not representing themselves. So the third principle becomes, for a successful democracy, like a representative democracy in India, is self-representation. That is the third principle. First is participation in decision making. The second is protecting the interest of the minority, and third is self-representation. Without self-representation, a representative democracy cannot now move towards its complete success and full bloom, fruit producing entity, food producing say enterprise. So अगर उसमें से कोई प्रतिफल निकलना है, उसमें से कोई अगर solution निकलना है, then it has to be self-representation. That ensures you to a large extent, because those who are represented, they have to time and again go and take the mandate of the people. So in their manifestos and in their resolutions, if they do not match their program and ideas with the mass, they will not get represented. People will not vote them to be represented. And if at all they suppose At the time of getting elected, they shared a different perspective and they shared their ideas as like the masses. And when they go to the house of the people, they change their idea and they work contrary to what they have resolved and promised to the people, then they will be removed. In the next regime, they will not be believed. Or even in between, through the law, say, non-confidence motion, they can be removed from the democracy. So the fourth principle where democracy is successful is the principle of calling back the representatives. You have given the power to represent, but they are not representing you. You call back them. You can put them back to the square. Come down. You are not representing me. So that way, but for that, the fourth principle I'm telling, we have a multi-party system, because to pull somebody down, you need a strong opposition. And for developing a strong opposition, not only one option will work. That one option can have play hands in glove with the party in power. So just party in power and party in opposition, that game is just like throwing dust in the eyes of the people. So they can adjust in between. This time you, and next time I. This time BJP, next time Congress. This game is going on in country for last 70 years, and that is a very dirty game. And therefore, Baba Saheb Ambedkar had conceptualized the multi-party system, representative democracy in India. So that fifth principle is very important. Multi-party system, and using each and every say force representing various diversities in India, maybe regional diversity, maybe linguistic diversity, maybe gender diversity, maybe cultural diversity, ethnic diversity, to get represented in the house of the people. And if one of them who is ruling is not adhering to the values and principles of the constitution, other can unite and throw that person, that force out. So this fifth principle of multi-party system, giving a space to grow the diversity in the same direction, but led by its own representative, for the same cause, for the same objective, with same principles and values as enshrined in the Constitution of India, that is justice, freedom, liberty, justice, freedom, equality, fraternity, dignity, and unity and integrity of the nation. All these principles, they will remain as the vision and mission of the people, but the force, the medium of achieving that can be diversely integrated into one force, that is the parliament and say Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha and the state assemblies where these people sit, and there is various scope for that. So if multiple forces are existing, they are representing diversity in your house, that is the richness of the house, that is the strength of the house. If one of them goes on the wrong way, they can control and make a check and balance in misuse of power, or you can say the accidentality of bad governance. So that is the fifth principle. These are the parameters on the basis of which, if we understand the seriousness, then we can actually make this democracy a successful democracy. The last point, I'll take 1 or 2 minutes, sir, to actually give a pragmatic approach to this explanation, is that in our Lok Sabha, there are 550 representatives, that is member parliaments. Now 543 plus the nominated by the president, people nominated by the president. Now suppose they are 550 Lok Sabha, 250 are the Rajya Sabha. So that becomes around say 800 people. 5 and 3, 800 people. So for representing the Indian mass in the people's house, we require 800 people. And there are, say, 36 states in India, 28 plus 7.
UTs.
Yeah. So that become 36, around 36 states. On an average, suppose 100 people are there in state assembly, including their councils, assembly councils, then that will become around 300, 3,600 plus this 800. So that 800, if I consider 1,000 and 3,600, I consider 4, then 5,000 people. And a alternative of each, it means 10,000. So if someone takes the charge to identify 10,000 people from the Indian population, train them properly, and pitch them in the political force to represent the masses truly, honestly, then this change can be brought within 5 years. 10,000 people from all across country, representing 36 states and union territories, 8 union territories and 28 states. So only a force of 10,000 people is required to actually make India a successful democracy. And if that task is understood, people are properly identified, trained, and they are put into the elections properly. Say for 5 years, we work for identifying proper people, and we give them time for propagating their own agenda and the personality in the society, so that they are properly known by the people, and people consider them their representative. And within 5 years, if all seats are filled by the political parties belonging to the backward classes, may not be single party, but sharing same agenda, Mulnivasis on the ground of their indigenous identity, if they fill all seats without considering any argument, any request from the Brahminical forces, if all Mulnivasis are put on all seats of the parliament and assembly, within 5 years, we can make total change, and social revolution and political revolution can be brought into action and operation within a short period of time. That is the possibility. But these 5 principles which I said, they should be taken care of. On those parameters, we should develop our political force, and thereby the Brahminical influence and the Brahminical interference into the social and economic and political aspect, cultural aspect of the Indian masses can be rooted out. And for that, I think those who oppose, they must propose alternative. We must develop a alternative political force in this country. And political force comes up, emerges, blooms out of the development of the society. So there has to be a social base, social organization at the grassroots level. So in all aspect of the life, our youth, or women, or laborer, or farmers, students, and the public servants, all together in their own areas, they should organize their people. And through that base, if they provide good people to represent them in politics, we can think of nothing but the successful of the democracy in India. Thank you, sir.
Right, sir. A very good concluding message you had given on today's topic. How what are the ways for the left for the Indian citizens, specifically for the Mulnivasi indigenous people, who can change the entire scenario of the country, and they can be the rulers of themselves, and even in the opposition also they can be there, and the proposition, and in the main party also, ruling party also, they can be there. So how important it is to participate in the democracy, whether in the form of ruling party, whether in the form of opposition party, or whether in the form of even independent. So every Contributory party, yeah. So,
Yeah.
if like-minded people get together and think in this particular direction to give the real representation, to frame up the policies that are required for the development of the indigenous people, definitely the change can occur, and definitely the democracy for which the purpose the constitution has been enshrined, it can get fulfill its
Yeah,
goal.
we can achieve. Yes.
Sure, sir. Sir, on behalf of MNT News Network, I'm really thankful to you for giving your valuable time. And once again, I hope you will spare your time with us on other important topics which are related to indigenous people and their social causes, sir. Thank you very much for joining today.
Thank you
Jai
very
Bhim,
much.
Jai Mulnivasi, Jai
Jai
Savidan, Jai
Hind.
Bharat, sir. Yeah. So it was Sanjay Ingole sir who had guided us today on this particularly important topic of Parliament must have a Mulnivasi majority. The scheduled caste, scheduled tribe, and other backward classes people should have majority, and they should, as a majority, go to the Parliament and be in the ruling party and develop policies for themselves and ensure the goal of the constitution to make India as a successful nation. Everything is in the hand of the citizens of India, and so specifically for the indigenous people of India, who constitutes more than 85% of the population. So this video will be there on the MNT News Network Facebook and YouTube page. Kindly share the link of this video to all in your family, to all in your circle, so that this important information and the principle and the power of vote that is there with every individual citizens can be passed on in the entire social media. Thank you very much for joining today, and we hope you will continue with us on every Sunday. And tomorrow also we are going to discuss very important topic, particularly in Hindi. So be there at 8:30 p.m. Thank you very much. Jai Bhim, Jai Mulnivasi, Jai Savidan, Jai Bharat.